You see this one little candle right here? This candle is going to change everything you know about entering and exiting trades. I'm going to break it down in this video. Let's get right into it. What's going on, guys? Mr. Zink here. In today's video, I'm going to teach you exactly how you should be entering and exiting trades. The whole basis of this concept is that you are always waiting for a retest before you enter. Now, if you do not get a retest, you don't have a trade. That trade does not fit into your trading model. Therefore, you forego it and you wait for that retest. I made the mistake this morning. Today is June 2nd, 2025. I made the mistake this morning of entering a trade prior to it retesting my trading model. What ended up happening was I took a $400 loss, $460 loss to be exact. And I corrected that by actually waiting for the retest and then capitalizing on that expansion. Going back to the Soxel chart from the beginning of the video, this one little candle is exactly the retest that you are waiting for. As you can see on this chart, we have a pretty bullish pattern. We have a bullish pennant forming. We're making higher lows as we're going to equal highs, waiting for price to break out of this resistance, in which case it did at 12.55. And we can see that the candle that broke was a strong green candle. Now you can enter right on that candle. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But you can always, well, almost always get a better entry if you just wait for the retest. And that's the whole concept. You need to deploy patience in order to avoid those losses where you get out for a loss and then the trade ends up running. This retest, this is, again, a beautiful pattern. We have a bullish pennant forming. This retest is as picture perfect as it gets. You have a beautiful 5-minute retest down to the level that you broke after waiting for 3 hours, and then you have a continuation off of that level. The same concept is present with every single trading model. Doesn't matter what it is, continuations, reversals, swing points, whatever you trade, there is always going to be a retest. And the reason there's always a retest is that's big money stepping in to sweep liquidity, sweep the small guys out, get the best entry as possible, and then have price push or continue in the direction that they're expecting it to go. For today, again, June 2nd, 2025, using the power of 50 from both previous day's 50 and London 50, we can see that price broke out of London 50 after a continuation over previous day's 50 and just continued to fly. We had a $4 opening candle on Qs that correlated to 134 points on MNQ or NQ. I believe it peaked at about 160 points, and then we had a 120 point pullback. That pullback is going to stop most people out, myself included, because I made the mistake of trying to get in before the retest happened. You always wait for that retest. In this case, my trading model is using the power of 50 London combined with previous day's 50, otherwise known as equilibrium. Shout out to T Trades. For the power of 50, I always wait for a retest. The reason that I didn't wait today was because we broke out a London high, and at the time, price was showing very strong volume coming in. Honestly, I could explain as much as I want to. It was a loss, simple as that. I broke my rules, I lost. So what I did to correct that, wait for the retest. In this case, we retested back down, as I said, 120 point candle down on NQ. We hit the power of 50 London, wicked off of it. That was my entry. My stop loss was a 15-minute candle close below the 50 and the 50 from previous day. What happened after price reacted at that level? We had a beautiful continuation up, and now we are at previous day's high, which is the price target after you hit previous day's 50, or for London session, after you hit London 50, you look for London high. Both targets hit. This was a beautiful 200-point continuation to the upside. Excuse me. That retest is your entry. Now, stick to the 15-minute time frame or stick to the 5-minute time frame, 1-hour time frame, whatever it might be, whatever your trading model is, stick to that time frame and wait for the retest. Now, there is a method that you can do. It's on the 1-minute time frame. Go down to the 1 minute. And this is how I discovered the strategy, was looking at the 1 minute time frame. Hopefully it happens real time here. The 1 minute time frame back tested by myself personally, has about a 75% chance that whatever wick forms first, and we're seeing it happen right now, initial wick up, typically sees a pivot to the downside, exactly what we're looking at right now. That's awesome. So you have an initial wick that forms. In this case, we just opened at 455, pivoted up to 457, and now we're having that pivot back down to 447. This is on the 1 minute time frame. Whatever the initial wick is, you typically fall or push the opposite way of that wick. In this case, we wicked up, so we're having that push back down. If we have a wick down, you have that push back up. I'll wait for another 15-minute, not another 15-minute candle, another 1 minute candle to open here just to kind of prove my point. But this is where I realized, hey, price typically retraces whatever the initial wick of a candle is. Now, this is the same case for an hour candle. This is the same case for a 15-minute, 5-minute, 4-hour, daily candle, whatever it might be, monthly candle even. In this case, we're getting an initial wick down. Now we should see price start to push up, which it is. Not all that aggressive on this candle, but you can see the concept working. You typically have a retracement, just so you don't think I'm pivoting off the candle because it was pushing down. It's still working out a little bit. That's where the concept came from, and then I started realizing, and this is the same thing that T-Trades post, Leo Invest post, both the guys that I prefer to work with or review trades from. Whatever time frame you're using, the candle typically wicks the opposite direction and then pushes whatever direction it was meant to go. In this case, looking at today's 4-hour open, we had a wick down, and we can see that it was present on the 5-minute. We had a wick down to open. The first 30 minutes of this candle were a wick down, and then we had that massive continuation up. That was on the hourly time frame. Now let's go to the 4-hour. We can see same thing on Friday, same thing back here on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever time frame you're looking at, you typically wick in the opposing direction. Now, that should be your entry. Again, depending on whatever your entry model might be, you're waiting for that retest. You're waiting for that wick of the next candle to form, and then you can play the continuation after that. Now, I've made many mistakes entering trades as soon as I expected to break out, and today is a perfect example of why that is just not the right thing to do. Going down to the 15-minute again, I still make these mistakes. I chased this candle up, and I got burnt on the following candle because of it, but then I made the correction. My entry model formed. We got to retrace back down to the 50, and then I capitalized on that expansion all the way back up to previous day's high. Learn from me, learn from the mistakes that I've made, learn to be patient enough to wait for that wick to form, wait for the retest, and then play the continuation. Doesn't matter what chart you're looking at, all the candles are the same. The only thing that changes is the ticker name and the time frame. That's it. If you're on the 1 minute, wait a few seconds for that wick to form. If you're on the 3 minute, wait 10 to 15 seconds. 5-minute time frame, wait 20 seconds. 15-minute, wait a minute. Hourly, wait 5 minutes. 4-hour, wait 15 minutes. And the 24-hour time frame, wait about an hour to 2 hours, and that wick will form. You typically proceed in the opposing direction. I'll pull this up one more time on the 1 minute time frame. Let's watch one more candle form before we end the video, just to put some icing on top. So this next candle's forming, initial wick down. I don't know if you caught that. Now we're having a little pivot to the upside, ultimately forming a doji candle at the moment. This is real time, by the way. This is not recorded afterwards. There's our initial wick down, and as you can see, we're getting a continuation back to the upside. There you go. Have a great one. See you guys next week for another video.